Good evening, everyone. Like Ed Rendell, like Billy Crystal, Larry Magid is a legend. One of the founders of the Electric Factory, Larry's contributions to the music industry are epic. And while he is best known, and while he is well known across the globe, Larry's heart has always been right here in Philadelphia. As Larry's career took off, he never forgot where he came from. Over the years, he and his wonderful wife, Mickey, who is here this evening, have been incredibly generous in supporting both Temple University and many, many other nonprofits across the region. At Temple, the Magids established several scholarships to support deserving students from the Philadelphia region. Their support also helped fund the renovation of the Temple Performing Arts Center. Larry also helped raise more than $1 million for local schools and music organizations by auctioning off rock and roll memorabilia. Larry's generosity is only matched by his incredible humility. The scholarships he has funded at Temple do not carry his name. They carry the names of music and pop culture icons like Billy Crystal, Bruce Springsteen, Bette Midler, Miles Davis, and Steven Van Zandt. And as Larry has said many times before, it doesn't mean anything to get a Larry Magid scholarship. Now a Miles Davis scholarship, that's cool. Larry is a true Philadelphia icon. His career and his contributions have influenced the trajectory of our city, and his legacy will help shape the future of young people across this city for generations to come. It is now my honor to present Larry Magid with the Edward G. Rendell Lifetime Achievement Award, named for our great former mayor and governor who has deeply loved this city as well as people like Larry. The award is a fitting recognition, Larry, for your many, many contributions to Philadelphia. Congratulations, friend.
Well, finally ran out of people to give awards to. I understand that my name was right under Howard Eskin's. And I'm a reach, believe me. Seriously, Ed Rendell Award, it just doesn't get any better for me than that. It's just, I love Philadelphia. I love Ed Rendell. He's been our greatest citizen in my lifetime anyway. The Lifetime Achievement Award at the home, Ed, we call this the Old Man's Award. Sadly, I qualify. My life's been greatly enhanced by music and television. Ironically, the first television show I ever saw was the Eagles beating the Chicago Cardinals for the NFL championship in this snowy day in 1948. I was 6 years old. So for those who are trying to figure out how old I am, I'm 47. And 20 years ago, ironically, we put on a show called Live 8 on the steps of the Art Museum. And we too drew 1 million people to see this free show in Philadelphia. The Philadelphians turn out. I read when I was a kid that if you want your dreams to come true, you had to pursue them. I grew up in a mixed neighborhood of row houses and mom and pop stores in the Cobbs Creek section of West Philadelphia. My dad worked really hard, worked 2 jobs, sometimes 6, 7 days a week when he could get it. But still, he found time to be a committeeman, worked in his labor union, was an officer in our synagogue, and found time to run dances for teenagers in the neighborhood. He was a great role model. I started working at 11. I loved to work, but there were distractions. It was a tough place to grow up. I saw a picture of Joe Frazier a minute ago. In my neighborhood, Joe Frazier was the Avon lady. Actually, my mom was the Avon lady, and I think she takes Joe in 5 rounds. So I'm sitting here listening to everybody, and instead of telling you how hard I worked and the 12-hour, 14-hour, 16 hours a day, there was something that happened to me in 1968 in October of 68. It was a Friday night. We had opened up Electric Factory 6 months earlier. I was called to the door on a Friday night, and they said, "Larry, I think you need to come to the door." What's the problem? I said, "Somebody here wants to see you." I walked to the front door, and there, bigger than life, was Frank Rizzo. He said, "You own this place?" And I went, huh? And he said, "We're going to turn this place into a tire factory." Next week, Police Commissioner Rizzo showed up with the mayor, James Tate. And they looked around. And 2 weeks later, they filed a suit against us to close us up. And we were part of the counterculture. First time that kids really had a voice in politics as well as music. But we were a center. And we got an injunction, but at 10:30 every night, which was a curfew in Philadelphia at the time, 20, 30 policemen, detectives would show up, march through the crowd, carding kids, and really disrupting what we were trying to do. It was tough. It was really tough fighting. I mean, we had a club. We were charging $3 to get in. We weren't serving alcohol. We had no choice but to fight the city. And then an amazing thing happened. There was a constitutional lawyer named Stanford Schmuckler and another one, Richard Atkins, and they decided to help us, that they would represent us in court. But we fought, and it was headlines 1968, 1969, and finally in 1970 on November 2nd, Election Day, we won our case. We stood up not only for kids and the city, but there were places all over the country where police and the cities were trying to close these establishments up. And it's just amazing that not only we were able to win, but we were able to speak up and stand up for our First Amendment rights. Again, we won. It was great. And we had city councilmen, we had neighbors, we had important people in the city to stand up for us. We were nothing. We were just $3 to get in to see Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix. It changed the world, and we were right in the middle of it. But if it hadn't been for people that knew right from wrong, I wouldn't be up here getting the Ed Rendell Award. I probably, I don't know where I would be. But I bumped into Frank Rizzo 4 years later. And we were making a name for ourselves. We were doing really good. Maybe 5 or 6 years later, we were really doing good. And he called me over and he said, in my heart, I thought I was right. And I looked at him and I said, you forgot one thing. Everybody counts. Thank you.